Hello, and thank you for your interest in TheBOSS. Please get a piece of paper and write down any questions or comments or ideas that you might have, and when we talk again, we can talk about everything. I want to begin by saying that our objective is to bring network marketing into the 21st century. We'll do this by developing and making available automated productivity and diagnostic tools that are already available in virtually all other industries. TheBOSS is a PC-based software package that resides on your PC. I hope you have a PC and that you're pretty comfortable with it. TheBOSS is designed for all computer skill levels, and at the same time it's very leading-edge technology. There's nothing else like it in the network marketing field. In my opinion, it's long overdue. If you're happy with what you see here today, I'll send you a bunch of documents relating to some of the things we'll be talking about. One of them is an article called Automated Network Marketing. This is exactly what we'll be talking about here today, the total automation of network marketing. Please think a little bit about how you do follow-up now. Also think about how many calls you make a day and how long it takes you to do it. Think about how it would be if you had a tool that could get the calls done in half the time, and that you would actually have much more fun doing it. TheBOSS is not a contact manager. It is not passive, where you have to fuss with a lot of stuff to get something to happen. TheBOSS is a productivity system. TheBOSS is really dynamic. It has a powerful sorting engine in it that enables it to break your job into single actions, and it then fires these single actions at you one at a time. It's very exciting to interact with a computer like this. It's even more fun and much more profitable than a video game. I'll demonstrate to you what I mean by that. TheBOSS has some very new and easy to use, easy to understand, sophisticated diagnostic tools which have not existed in the network marketing industry up until now. These tools will guide you to areas of your business that you can spend your time and effort more productively. That's why we call it a productivity system. I'll show you some of these tools today. Without these tools, it's kind of like driving a car without a dashboard or a road map. To really excel in today's world, we need more than a paycheck to know how well we're doing. That would be like a corporation just looking at profits to see how good they're doing. A well-run corporation will look at hundreds of automated indicators and markers of actionable items to attain an optimized business. Along with TheBOSS, you get our coaching, because it's important, because a lot of what we offer is new technology to the network marketing industry. Our goal today is to find multiple ways for you to at least double your productivity. I'll show you examples of many new possibilities today. Does that sound pretty intriguing to you? You'll still keep doing what you're doing, you just will be doing it more effectively and efficiently. If you're on a team, you'll keep doing what your team does, you'll just do it more effectively. Using TheBOSS to be twice as effective means you'll work the same number of hours, but now you'll be increasing your residual income at a much faster rate. And you'll have the diagnostic tools to ensure that your residual income keeps on growing and never shrinks. The objective is to put your business on autopilot, which will give you the peace of mind of really knowing that everything is getting done. Creating a daily method of operation, or DMO, for yourself is important. It includes a schedule of hours that you agree to work each day and a general idea of what you'll do each day. TheBOSS also measures your success with important diagnostics and finds trouble spots along the way so you can make adjustments before real damage is done. When you use TheBOSS will give you important feedback on how well you're following your DMO. TheBOSS will tell you if you're being accountable to yourself and your own goals that you have set for yourself. Accountability tracking is a big feature of TheBOSS. TheBOSS has a nice set of diagnostics, so you can more intelligently manage your whole downline, especially down to the bottom levels of the compensation plan where the money is 8 times greater. This is a quote from Bob Berg in his book, Endless Referrals. Systems enable ordinary people to produce extraordinary results with predictability. Without a system, however, even extraordinary people find it difficult to achieve even ordinary results predictably. Think about that one for a minute. Here's a picture of me and my upline. Do you snuggle with your upline like this? We met 5 years ago on a cruise. That's me on the right, the handsome one. I have designed systems all my life for the corporate world, mostly productivity and management type systems. I've designed 20 major systems and worked with dozens of different multi-level marketing companies in my life. So I'm well qualified to design a system like TheBOSS. TheBOSS is definitely my best and most innovative system of my career. When I joined Noni after being out of network marketing for a long time, I was shocked by the absence of technology. I was shocked at the outdated methods. I was shocked at the lack of any diagnostic tools. All other industries are very automated and use the latest technologies. Would you agree? When I saw my partner's messy desk in Boston, I was shocked again. Her desk looks something like this. Notice the clutter and confusion. There is a computer on the desk. Can you find it? Could you find what to do next in this pile? Does your office look anything like this? TheBOSS tends to remove that clutter and confusion, so if you like clutter and confusion, TheBOSS might not be for you. So I combined my network marketing experience with my skill at designing management and productivity systems and came up with TheBOSS. I wrote the specifications and my programmer Mike in Australia programmed it. It took us over 3 years, and now we have a good start at the world's first automated network marketing system. We call it A&M. This is my paperless office. My partner's office now is on her laptop, so when she travels, her whole office goes with her in her laptop. To back up, all I do is click a couple times, and all my office goes into one of these little thumb drives or one of these SD chips. In movies, you see executives with clean desks and offices that look like a living room. All they have on their desk is a computer screen and a keyboard. Any information they need or want is in the computer. TheBOSS is good for any Noni business builder that wishes one of these 3 options. First, TheBOSS would be good for somebody who already has a large downline and would want to use a powerful set of diagnostics to optimize their organization. Or 2, TheBOSS would be good for someone who desires to quickly build a big downline using state-of-the-art power tools. Or 3, a balance of options 1 and 2. Which category would you be in? Let's first talk about the front end of TheBOSS and getting organized for success. Our objective is to get everything in your life you want to manage into one system and into one format. Genealogy, address book, lists, and any other businesses you might have. Let's talk about what can happen when we gain access to our own genealogy. TheBOSS is the only system that is able to easily mine the data in your back office and put it into a user-friendly format. We are very thankful to TNI for giving us access to our genealogy. Many network marketing companies do not do this. So this is what TheBOSS's main call screen looks like. You're looking at real imported data, so please don't write any phone numbers down. These people already belong to somebody else. You can synchronize your back office periodically to keep all your information current. So let's start at the top and work our way down the screen. So first we can look at the files that we have. So here is the house file, which is my address book, which I use to manage all my home businesses and friends and things like that. I loaded a file of churches, and I'll show you some action there in a minute. And that was quite fun to call into churches. And Noni Office, which you're looking at now. A-Team is a program that I participated with Todd Falcone, and I made over 1,000 calls there calling chiropractors, and that was fun. TheBOSS worked magnificently. And over here is the BOSS file, which I used TheBOSS to sell TheBOSS, and that's what I'm doing now. And over here is the file maintenance. This is how we get things into TheBOSS. So there are maps all pre-set up for Noni Office, for example, for Outlook, and different things that we do. So I have templates for churches and chiropractors and things like that. So it's very easy to do that. These are some of the reports that we're going to talk about soon. I'll show you some of the reports, and that's cool. So over the cold means that I've never called this person before. and you can see down here in the call history there's no call, so that's what that's about. So it happens to be 3:21 in France, and it's also tomorrow there because it's 9 hours difference, so the boss does manage time zones very well, and that's a very handy thing because I have called people at 3:21 a.m. in the morning, and it was very embarrassing. So here's the phone numbers and the email, website, things like that. This is the person's ID number. This is the sponsor's ID number, the level number that this person is at from the owner of this. These are drop downs, but this field is maintained by every time I synchronize the boss, it comes in. These are the AutoShip designations. This is the energy that the person is at, so you can track group energies. These are the different sources of people, 3 foot, things like that. Over here, this is the sponsor. This is the sponsor's ID. This is the sponsor's name. This is an inactive IPC. His last order was 15th of December 2009, and Eveline's birthday is February 14th. Down here is where all the past actions show up, and I'll show you that in a little while. So that's the boss's call screen. Second, we can load our address book and use the boss to really manage our personal events, groups, appointments, running our household, storing our passwords, and many other things. Think about your address book that you use now. It's probably not real easy to use as a follow-up system, is it? When you get a new and serious business builder, we suggest that you have them get the boss, load their address book. The boss will then feed them one person at a time to sort out. This way there's no chicken list, no prejudging, just sorting, one at a time, with everyone in the address book handled quickly. We recommend new people just get their address book done. There might be a superstar in there, but once the address book is completely sorted out, they can then move on to an unlimited source of leads. In the long run, most business will come from a DMO that includes cold calling from a list of people that you have something in common with. This can be quite a profitable use of your time. I'll show you that next. Third, we identify and load our lists to work on. There are many lists which are free on the internet: churches, real estate, contractors, chiropractors, seminar leaders, other network marketing companies when they go out of business. These are your unlimited sources of leads. You'll want to find a list that you have something in common with. What jobs have you done in the past? Many people have sold real estate. In case you haven't noticed it, many real estate people are out looking for extra money now. This technology of working with lists is based on the work of Todd Falcone, a network marketing guru that works with TNI. I've followed him for years, and I've learned a lot about network marketing from him. Periodically, he does live calls and webinars. He's great at establishing relationships with the people he talks to. Todd does send out cards and goes after real estate agents who actually want to be called and make it easy for him. In lists on the internet, they even give you their cell phone number, show you their picture, and the amazing thing is they answer the phone. Todd claims to enroll 10 to 15 people out of 100, and Todd has 100 dial days frequently without the boss. If he had the boss, he could probably do twice as many. If you don't know about Todd, I suggest you Google him. His name is Todd, T-O-D-D, Falcone, F-A-L-C-O-N-E. You can also watch our video on power tools and see how the boss will allow you to peak interest at the rate of about 30 an hour. Think about how many peaks a week you do now. I've attended and worked with churches a lot in my life. In testing the boss, I called churches and found them to be very receptive to my proposal, even in Alaska. I'll show you some churches now. If you've ever gone to church, you can do this. Okay, now I'm going to show you how an actual call session works. I'll be calling churches, and before I get started, I want to back up all my data so that in case my computer explodes or if someone steals my computer or something like that, I can restore all my files and go back to work, and I haven't lost a stroke. When I'm calling, notice that there's no hesitation between calls. We call this end-to-end calling. Calling is dynamic. People to call just pop up. I don't have to bother with anything. I click in the lower left corner on dial, and the phone is dialed. I wear a headset, so I don't even have to pick up the 10,000-pound phone, and both hands are free to type notes onto the computer. In doing follow-up calls, I just trust what I wrote on the screen was correct and the best information I had at the time. I just go with the flow and trust the boss. I get into what I call a call rhythm that's quite enjoyable. The boss, who I think of as my personal assistant, manages everything, so I go smoothly through the calls. First the urgent calls, then the not so urgent but nice to do. Then the boss starts feeding me peak interest or cold calls. I'm going to keep going until, according to my DMO, it's time to stop my call session. Then I'm current and I've kept all my promises, and then I am being accountable to myself. So this is one area where I would expect you to at least double your effectiveness and efficiency. So we're in full screen mode now. We're going to be calling the churches, and I wanted to show you how I set up my screen. I put the boss on the right side, which leaves me the whole left side to do emails and to look at websites and things like that. I want you to know that churches like to give you all the information that they have in their listings and everything, so they give you the email address they want you to find out about them so that you'll go to church, of course. So let's look at their website and see what a sample their website looks like. So they show you what they did for the last 4 weeks, and if I see an interesting topic, I could talk to Michaela about that, and it would just provide something to talk about and create relationships. So I'm going to look at the whole church board here. I can see that Michaela is the administrator, and I already indicated that over here. So if Michaela starts talking about Mary or something like that, I know that how to email her and get her attention. I probably would not go after the minister at first. I would probably want to get a few distributors in the church first, because it's quite exciting when Noni gets going in a church. I've experienced that. So let's call Michaela now, and we have some notes here, some things that we could talk about, and we'll just call him, and dialing, and so I would just say, "Hi Michaela, how have you been? Thanks for answering the phone for the church and everything. It's a nice service that you provide, and what's new in your church lately?" And oh, that's great, and we had a great picnic at our church last Sunday. That was very nice. And tell me a little bit about your minister. What kinds of things does your minister like to get into? And do you have any kids? And how long have you been in Anchorage? Is that a nice place to live? Tell me a little bit about what life is like there today. And what do you like to do when you're not answering the phone for the church? And tell me about your sore hands and knees. Is it arthritis? Did you know that Noni is really good for arthritis? And I would just be, creating conversation. And so he wants some more information about some of the case studies that we have, so I'm going to follow up with him. And one day I'm going to call him tomorrow, because I'm going to email things. And so I would take any other notes that are appropriate, and I'm okay. So goodbye, Michaela. Call you tomorrow. And then the next call is Laurel from Fairbanks. So I'll dial her, talk about things. While the phone is dialing, I'm thinking of what I want to accomplish and some conversation to get things going and everything like that. So Laurel liked the proposal, and I'm going to follow up with her also and ask how Robert is and things like that, just to create conversation. So Laurel is a doctor, so she's interested in case studies. And now let's see who's next. So now this is someone that I haven't called before, and they are in California, and so I would just call them and talk to them, create relationship, and that's about that. Pretty cool, huh? It was very fast and easy. And so we're back to getting organized for success. So 4 is, if you do other businesses, go ahead and load them up too. For example, I use TheBOSS to market TheBOSS. Do you have any other home-based businesses? So how does all this look so far? Remember to write down any questions that you might have. TheBOSS tracks and records everything. While you're busy talking on the phone, enjoying people, all the tracking is transparent. You don't have to do anything except sit in front of TheBOSS and do what it says. Think about each category of people that you will call and set up protocols for each one. As an example, here's a suggested protocol for a new drinker. Our purpose is to design a protocol for a new drinker to make sure they get off to a great start. We'll then use TheBOSS to carry out the protocol. In the first call, we'll make sure the new drinker understands and appreciates what optimal dosage is. Do you know what optimal dosage is? It's very important in optimizing your downline. I'll send you a write-up on it. This would be the protocol I would use for original noni in the 1 liter glass bottles, because most of us are used to that. First, we'll use TheBOSS to call on the first day. If possible, we'll give them a starter bottle, get them on case AutoShip, talk to them about health goals, get commitment to stay on the program for 90 days. This is a checklist, so all new drinkers understand everything and get off to a good start. The protocol, combined with using TheBOSS to do crisp follow-up to keep your drinkers on track, can be very powerful. Call on the 4th day when half of the first bottle should be gone. Call on the 9th day when the first liter should be gone. And call on the 30th day when the first case should be done. Create an old drinker's protocol. When you consider the lifetime value, or LTV, of a drinker is around $10,000, and you can see our website for more details on this, you will realize that it is cost beneficial to see to it that someone in your downline calls every old drinker every 6 months to make sure they're getting value and are happy and healthy. Create a prospect protocol. Going to chamber meetings, mall walking, however you get your leads, enter the information into TheBOSS right away while it's still fresh in your mind. Then do crisp follow-up when you promise to get them started as soon as possible. People are impressed when they ask you to call them at 9 o'clock and you do it to the minute. We're building trust and relationship. Then create a business builders protocol. Have them create a DMO that includes how many promised peaks they'll do each week. Have your downline get TheBOSS so there is accountability with them. What we're talking about is promises versus actual performance, and getting those two things aligned. The whole idea is to get your business builders on autopilot, TheBOSS and their DMO, just like you're doing. For accountability, Tim Sales recommends his pocket tracker that requires a pencil. Todd Falcone recommends his 90-day A-Team webinar, which teaches accountability. This costs $500, and I did it. These are nice, but now we have TheBOSS, which is a much better way to be accountable, because you don't have to manually track your data. Let me show you what TheBOSS can do. So you just saw me work with churches in Alaska, and it went well. In fact, I was having fun when I was calling churches. And while I was having fun calling, TheBOSS was busy gathering these statistics. And this is what we call the stats report. These are my stats for a call session that I did on April 1st. You can run this report for 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days a week, a month, whatever time period that you choose. Let's look at what I did. So In this call session, I did a total of 41 calls. 23 of those were cold calls or peak interest calls, so I did 56% of my calls were peak interest. So that's a pretty nice balance. I did 27 follow-up calls, so most of my calls were follow-ups and just having conversations with people about Noni. I left 4 messages, and you can see in the whole report there were no call-ins, which would signify that people are returning my calls. So I need to look at my ability to leave powerful enough messages to cause people to return my messages. I did 6 email proposals, which are, this is after people are seriously interested in what we're talking about. So that was pretty good. And 4 people were done. That means that they were not interested in my offer. So you can see down here that I started at 10 a.m. and turned off my computer at 4:40, which is a total of 6 hours. So this was not a very intense call session. I didn't know that you'd be watching, but total talk time was 52 minutes, and that's only 13% of the time was I busily engaged in a conversation with somebody. The average talk time was a little more than a minute, and the longest talk time was almost 4 minutes. You can see that I can print this report, or I can email it to my upline or my mentor or anyone that I want to. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? This is really accountability at its best. I just compare this to what I promised to do, and this is really about learning about ourselves, and it's about keeping our word to ourselves. This is real accountability. Now let's grow exponentially. The boss also tracks results for enrollment campaigns. You will have stats on the results of advertising campaigns and attraction marketing. Know what it takes. With experience with the boss, you'll get to know what it takes to progress, and then you can manage it. Think about your conversion rates now. That's both in piquing interest to view your presentation and your presentation conversion rate. Can you guess what they are? When you have the boss and you have your stats running, you can then calculate your rates precisely. Once we know our rates, we can determine if we're happy with them. For example, once you know your rates, you could rather accurately calculate what would happen if you increased your peaks from 5 a day to 20 or 30 a day. Find bottlenecks and fine-tune your skills. This is a most important point where you can gain big leverage. If we're not satisfied with our rates, then we can go to work on our skills and watch our rates and our enrollments go up geometrically. The boss is new technology, so we don't really know what a good rate is. Back in my Amway days, I was pretty good. If I could get them in the room, I usually closed them. It seems there are some hot Noni people who just attract people into the business. You might think they were born that way, but they were not. They will all tell you stories of what they did to learn their skills. I believe success is all just about learnable skills. You just have to apply yourself, learn more, and practice constantly. Peak to present rate and present to enroll rate are the 2 rates we're interested in. Think of increasing your enrollment rates from 2% to 10% or 20% or 30% or higher. On our website is a video of Danny Johnson talking about how increasing your skills can dramatically increase your bottom line. How do you think that would change your total growth rate? We've already talked about this one, zipping through your address book so you can get onto unlimited sources of leads, so you can do the type of thing I showed you that I did with churches. This is really a great option to consider if you want to really grow fast. Now we're going to talk about the back end of the boss. We did a pretty good job on the front end, didn't we? Most network marketers don't go out much beyond their first level and the people they know and hang out with. That would kind of be like a corporate executive just talking to a few of his business buddies and just assuming that everything in the lower levels of the company are getting handled. That business and that executive would probably not last long in today's world. Would you agree? We believe that you are the executive of your whole business, and that because it is your business and your income that we're talking about, that you have the right and the responsibility to work anywhere in your downline that you see fit. Anyone upline to a leader in trouble should be concerned and take immediate action to rekindle their dream. There are way too many dreams being lost today because of our lack of awareness. The problem is that up until now, we have not had the diagnostic tools to locate people in danger. In a well-run corporation, if a department or a person was not performing, I guarantee someone would deal with it quickly and effectively. In fact, we go even further and say you have the duty to yourself and your downline to run management reports and find problem areas and do what you can to remedy them wherever they exist. This is what an executive in a large corporation would do. Noni is big business, and we are no different. I know this is a radical idea. Are you with me on that? Because our compensation plan is weighted towards the bottom, we believe that's the important area to work in. Compensation is 8 times greater at the bottom. And now we have the data so we can work very intelligently at all levels of our business. In Unilevel, on level 1, you make $1.20 on a case, and on level 8, a distributor and a spouse on AutoShip would bring in a whopping $19.20. So this is the area we would be wise to focus more attention on. Are you working in the lower levels of your compensation plan where the money is 8 times more? This new ability we have to focus where the money is and focus on problem areas and focus on attention on star performers will allow you to use your time and efforts much more effectively. Does this make sense to you? With TheBOSS, we can run diagnostic reports and find legs in our organization at all levels that are underperforming and overperforming. We can call the underperformers and see what we can do. It just might be a simple fix. With the overperformers, we can call to praise them and support them and find out what they're doing that works. The story might develop into a best business practice and might make a good email. This is what really managing your downline is. Now we can intelligently really lead a downline into being a truly caring community because we now have the tools to not let anyone lose their dream. Does this sound good to you? Please think for a minute. Do you know or can you guess what % of your distributors are on case AutoShip? This is what our AutoShip report looks like. This is a bird's eye view of a typical downline. It looks a lot different at 30,000 feet, doesn't it? In the BOSS's manual is a very detailed write-up on the analysis of the BOSS reports. I'll send you a copy of the manual. When you get the BOSS and run this report, we'll be happy to help you interpret it and diagnose your downline. It's fun to pretend this is your downline. If this was your report, you can see on the top line that the people you enrolled, over here, are the worst of all levels at 64% non-participation. This is the not on case AutoShip column. Your people in levels below you all have lower percentages of non-participation. This is not a good indicator of your influence. Now you know about the problem. Now what would you do about it? You can see on the bottom here that 53% of your organization is not on case AutoShip. That means more than half of your people are not participating. If everyone was properly educated about the benefits of Noni, then why wouldn't almost everybody be on case AutoShip? You can also see that only 1% or 19 out of 1,587 people are on 2 or more cases. That's not very many. Most people have a partner or a family, so why wouldn't most people be on case AutoShip Plus? There's a lot that can be done to increase the % AutoShip participation. The main thing is to start an email and a phone campaign to hammer home these 4 ideas. 1. Beat the drum about the value of optimal dosage. Talk about the value of AutoShip. Get their partners involved. Talk about other commissionable products. When they've done that, we believe you will possibly have quadrupled your income without enrolling another person. That's doubling the percent AutoShip participation to almost full participation, and doubling the partner and family participation. That's all. What do you think of that? In the future, the boss will have the ability to do e-marketing and e-training to specific groups and specific legs at specified intervals. Currently, the boss can only send emails to groups of people. We're also working on and collecting an exciting series of emails for builders, drinkers, and prospects. Later on, we'll be looking for someone to help us with this project. This is the Visual DownLine. This is what our downline looks like as a graph. You, the owner, are down here in the bottom left corner at level 0, and the levels go up the left side. This is an upside down pyramid. What do you see when you see this view? I'll draw some lines to demonstrate the very high cost of not managing your whole downline. You can see this green line shows a nice slope as we would expect. The slope continues to get wider, as it should up until around level 5 or 6. It then looks like a big disaster struck right around here. If we were running our diagnostics, this would probably not have happened. The growth started up again in level 7 with the same slope indicated by the orange line right here. The red line here shows the end of the compensation levels. The loss looks like close to 100 people at level 8, where the compensation is the greatest. This report shows that some catastrophe happened, but because this report and other boss diagnostic reports did not exist, the owner of this business possibly had no idea that something devastating was even happening, let alone who or what happened, or just how bad it was. Probably the only indicator they had was that their check went down a lot. But then it was too late. The damage was done. That's why we are currently working on the leg report and the over and under report as hard as we can. These reports should be ready very soon. This is what the leg report will look like. You'll be able to bring someone up on your screen, click, and see their performance as well as the performance of that person's first level people. The report will show the percent AutoShip participation, as well as the percent growth or shrinkage. This would be since the previous synchronization. How great is that? A variation of this report will be the over and under report. This report will show the top 20 performing people in your organization as well as the bottom 20 underperforming people. An underperformer is someone who has a damaged opinion of some aspect of the business or product, or they just lost their enthusiasm. Remember, at one time they had a good opinion, or they wouldn't have signed up in the first place. This gives you the opportunity to take care of them or bypass these detractors and find people to be responsible for the rest of the leg. Legs can disappear very quickly once a leader gets unhappy. The purpose of these reports is to avert a disaster like the one we saw in the Visual DownLine. Every month when you synchronize, run the over and under report, and this will be your list of people to work on. Here's what we call the Duplication Report. Just for fun, let's pretend like this is your report again. Please notice on the left corner that 81% of your whole organization didn't enroll anyone. Then, notice on the top left that you're better than average with only 77% not enrolling anyone. Notice on the top right corner that you enrolled 2 people who enrolled 15 or more people. That's pretty great. We call people who enroll 15 or more people superstars. They have proven that they have the skills to go all the way. When you become aware of them, they just might go all the way. Notice in the 15 plus column that you have superstars all the way down. You have a total of 28 of them. Do you know who they are? Have you praised them lately? If you don't notice them and acknowledge them, you might lose them, you know. Remember, they're working for you whether you're aware of them or not. A variation of this report will be the Superstar Report. It will name your top superstars in your organization. Well, we've been going a long time, and we could go on much longer, but let's stop for now and summarize what the boss can do for you with the front end and the back end. The front end of the boss will do all of this. First, it gets you organized for success by bringing all the groups of people you work with into one system with one format. Your address book, your Noni genealogy, various enrollment campaigns you'll run that include endless sources of leads, and other businesses you plan to operate. The boss captures your Noni back office genealogy so you can begin to keep track of every action and conversation you have with everyone in your business. Having access to your back office data allows the boss to do the very important diagnostics found in the back end of the boss. With diagnostics, you'll be able to intelligently manage your whole business all the way down to where the money is. The boss supports you in keeping your DMO going every day. It becomes your personal assistant. The boss has a powerful sorting and sifting engine to dynamically drive your calling sessions so they're easy and fun. Yes, calling is fun when all you have to do is focus on enjoying talking to people with speed and efficiency. The boss helps you keep all your promises so that nothing ever falls through the cracks. We demonstrated how to at least double your calling efficiency. The boss tracks everything as a byproduct of just doing your calling sessions. You can just click to dial and talk, and then at the end of the day you can click and see your stats. You have stats on all your actions, and as a result, network marketing finally has accountability. Your new business builders can get the boss so they have accountability with you. They also know exactly what it takes to do the business and be successful. They know from their stats if they're doing what it takes for success. We give you the tools to do e-marketing and e-training. The boss supports massive enrollment campaigns from unlimited sources of leads, and it will measure the success of these campaigns. The back end of the boss is where we run diagnostics to find problem areas so we can do something about them before too much damage is done. These are the steps to optimize our downline. First, energize your downline. We showed you how one leader could probably quadruple their income without enrolling another person. This is done by using the boss tools to reach and teach people about optimal dosage, the value of case AutoShip, and by getting partners involved. 2, we reverse attrition. Use the boss diagnostics to locate leaders who have lost their enthusiasm and turn them around. Create raving fans with a campaign of emails and calling. 3, make all legs responsible all the way to the bottom levels where the money is. Manage your whole business. Use the over and under report and the leg report to find business builders and detractors. Lavish attention and praise on your overperforming superstars and find out what they're doing. Find someone to be responsible for each leg. You can even hire someone to be your full or part-time customer service manager. Think of your genealogy as your phone tree. Manage every level of your business, especially your lower levels where the money is. 4, beat the drum for optimal dosage. Every distributor should know what optimal dosage is and should be taking it. This is about a case per month per person. If they don't do the optimal dosage, then they can't expect the benefits and probably shouldn't bother taking any at all. Only optimal dosage will give the optimal results. Diagnostic reports. The boss periodically synchronizes with your back office data so you can run up-to-date diagnostic reports, so you can know exactly what's going on in your whole organization and manage your whole business as well. You can also compare periods so you can see growth patterns over time. This permits you to find and fix problem areas before they get out of control and have already done their damage. It allows you to identify and work with superstars. 6. Improve your enrolling skills. We showed you how you can measure your skills of piquing interest and presentation rates, and how you can increase your win ratios and grow at an accelerating and geometric rate. We love network marketing because it's a business of building dreams. To put it simply, we're committed to giving Noni people the tools it needs so that more people can achieve their dreams more predictably, faster, and with more certainty. We're working as fast as we can to give you a complete set of diagnostic tools. Many more are on the way. Let's get started.